Hello, friends. For those who are new here, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. For those who are returning, welcome back. It is the first, we have finished a first full week of 2023, and I thought I would share with you some of my goals for the year. I try to kind of set 4 really big goals. And then look at why I want to complete those goals, along with some of the steps in the middle to kind of get there. And so my first one is to read my Bible more. My main goal with that is just to grow closer to God throughout the year. But to do that, I need to spend time in His Word and some other little parts with that. So one of the action plans for me in this time is to read my Bible every day. Last year I had Turning Point's 365-day reading plan. I'm going to repeat that again this year because there were parts that I missed, and there were when I got to the New Testament, I stopped reading because I kind of got bored with reading the Gospels. The Gospels, if you have been raised in church, are the 4 books about the life of Jesus, and they are very well taught in most churches. And for me, with the way that my memory works, I end up going, I'm reading the same thing I read 2 weeks ago, or however often it was. So I'm gonna make a few little tweaks to this. The first tweak being that instead of, this has January 1st through the 31st, and then it has reading for each day, I'm not going to worry so much about the day. First off, today's the 9th, and I haven't started yet. And the 9th is Genesis 29 through 31. So instead, I'm going to start with Genesis 1, and basically each day that I read, just move down the list. There will be some days, like probably today, I will read what should have been read January 1st and 2nd. On work days, I'll probably only get 1 of the days done instead of 2 or 3, which I can do when I'm not at work, or when I don't have to rush out of the house in the morning. Also, I'm taking a flight this weekend, so I definitely can delve into my Bible on those long flights as well. So I'm going to do that first. And so instead of, if I miss a day, missing a passage, I'll just keep moving forward. The other thing I'm going to do is probably I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm going to do this. Either I'm going to start with it now, or I'll wait until like the end of March. And I'm going to read 1 of the Gospels, and then just read a Gospel each quarter of the year. So between January and March, I will read Matthew. Between April and June, I'll read Mark. July to October, I'll read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and then I'll read John, October to December. Just to kind of help break up those Gospels, so I'm not feeling like I'm reading the same stories back to back. So that's how I'm going to do this, and take care of it that way. Another one of my action plans under growing in my walk with God is to work on memorizing 12 passages of the Bible. The first one I'm working on is Psalm 57. Where I go from there, I'm not sure. I haven't planned it out month by month yet. I just really, my mom encouraged me to memorize Psalm 57 for some of the stuff that's going on with us, and so I decided to start there and I'll move on from there. And then my third kind of action plan is to try to actually get to church. Sorry, the cat's playing with the blinds. Actually get to church twice a month. Our church is really good about putting the sermons online. You're killing me, Willis. They're really good about putting them online, and so if I don't get up in time, or if, as in the case this weekend, my daughter had a cough and I didn't want to take the risk of getting anyone sick, so we stayed home and I watched it via online instead of actually going in. So it just kind of depends, but I know that I get in a mental rut and I feel very easily discouraged when I'm not fellowshipping in person with my body of believers, more than just work. And so twice a month to actually get inside the church building should not be too hard. We'll see how that goes. And then my final action goal that I have written down for now under growing closer with God is to work through Our Lady's Bible study and to stay up to date with it. One of the, our main plan this year is to look at women of the Bible. We're starting with Esther. And so we're going to kind of just read through the passages and see where God is leading us and telling us of how to be women of God. And so just kind of my goal with that is to stay on track with that and with reading the passages that are assigned and doing what I can to participate in those discussions. Another goal that I have this year is to bring my weight down. At this point, it's down. I want to come down 40 pounds from where I'm at right now. And kind of my purposes behind this is I have family members who have passed away due to heart disease, and I know carrying the extra weight is not good for my heart. Also, type 2 diabetes runs in my family, so I kind of want to be there for my kid as long as I can, so that she doesn't have to deal with life without me, at least not until she's an adult and feels pretty confident all on her own. So doing that, with that in mind, my kind of action goals right now are to follow the 2B mindset principles. Water first, veggies most, weigh daily, and writing down everything that you eat. So, and that one even further, I'm breaking it down month by month. I'm just going to start with one and then I will add the next one on the next month, just to slowly build myself into fully doing that. So here in January, my goal is water first. And with that, my goal is to get 100 ounces of water each day. And part of doing that will help is that I will drink 16 ounces of water when I get up and before each meal. And so hopefully that will help me to get that water in, also to kind of help me listen to my body cues of when I'm really content as far as food wise and not just eating to fill a void or anything like that. And then my other one is to try to exercise 5 times a week. Even if that's just going for a walk around the block, I'm not really going to assign an activity to that. I tried that last year and that ended up just discouraging me more. So, just kind of a blanket exercise 5 times a week. I know that's not always the best way to set a goal, because I'm not exactly, I'm not spelling out the goal exactly, but I think this way is more likely for me to stick with it throughout the year. And finally, what we are all here for, this is my booktube channel, so moving on to my reading goals. For this year, I do want to read 100 books. Last year, I set my goal for 90 books, and I read a total of just over 100. I can't remember exactly, but it was over 100 pages. So I decided, after 2 years of having that goal of 90 books and both years exceeding that goal, that I was going to up my goal. With reading those 100 books, I am going to try to focus a little bit more on my currently owned TBR, kind of that 23 of the books off of my shelves behind me that I've owned before 2023. I did that 22 and 22 last year, and I feel that I got a lot read. I did buy more books then, and still had even more books on my shelves. So I should be able to get 23 with just what's on my TBR cart. And with that, I did set a page goal like I did last year in Storygraph. And that one I increased as well a little bit. I'm going to the numbers. Instead of 25,000, which I set for last year, I did 35,000. That should be about 350 pages per book. Some of the series that I'm kind of wanting to read/reread this year would be the Outlander series. Sorry, they're behind me. I do want to try to read the Outlander series. I have read the first through the 5th book, and I think I've read the 6th book, but I haven't gotten any further than that. And I'm not even sure I finished the 6th book. I can't remember anything with that one. So, I'm going to reread the first 5 and continue on, hopefully, to get all 8 books done in the next 12 months. And if I can do that, I am kind of on the fence still about jumping into the Game of Thrones series. Part of the reason I'm on the fence is the final book has not been released yet, and I'm not sure if I want to do 8 books, 8, 9, however many books are in that series, again, just to read the last one if I don't remember some of the events that happened. So that's kind of where that is. So that I can, those are 2 big series that I am looking at possibly tackling. And then I do also want to try to do the second Mistborn series, or second Mistborn era, this year as well. So we shall see how that part goes. Another thing is my husband so wonderfully gifted me for this full year, A Year of Sanderson. We did the Kickstarter, and so I have his 4 new books coming in, along with the little goodie boxes in the 2 months between book shipments. So I do want to try to make sure that I read one of those each quarter as well. We'll see how it goes. I always make these grand plans, and sometimes I'm in the mood to complete them, and other times life just kind of gets in the way. So that's where I'm at right now with my goals. I probably will set one more goal, one more overarching goal of something with my family. Um, whether that's last year we started out setting up either a game or a movie night every other Friday night of just my husband, my daughter, and I, just to kind of introduce our daughter to some of the movies we loved and to play those games that we have tons of, but not always are they great to do with just two players when my husband and I play games together. So, will that appear again? I'm not quite sure. We'll just have to wait and see how my husband's feeling, how I'm feeling, and go from there. And there you have it, my 2023 goals. I know it may not seem like a lot to just have those 3, maybe 4 really big goals. But when I break it out, I feel like I have more goals there. So with my action plan, I feel like I actually have quite a few goals to complete this year. And we will see how everything works out at the end of the year. If you have any 2023 goals that you want to share with me, please leave a comment below. Also, if you have a scripture passage that you think would be a great one to memorize and just have, feel free to leave that in the comments below as well. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye.